Well, hi everyone. As you're all coming to this webinar, we're so excited to have you. I can't get over how many of you are attending and we're thrilled. So welcome to Admitted Spartans Day 2020 with San Jose State. We're so excited to meet you all virtually. Today, I'm Susie Morris. I'm the Director of Study Abroad and Away at San Jose State, and Julie Lucas is our Study Abroad Coordinator. And we're going to be talking about all of the great programs that we offer.
Yes. Thanks everyone for being here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about who we are in the Study Abroad and Away office, what we do, and why it's a great idea to study abroad. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the myths that you may have heard about studying abroad, demystify some of those. We'll then go over our program types, both short-term and long-term. We'll talk about who is eligible, which should be all of you, and then talk about next steps to take for those of you who are interested in going abroad.
So first of all, why would anyone want to study abroad? I can't think of anything better to do with our time when we're in school. But again, I'm completely biased as the Director of Study Abroad. Students typically want to study abroad because this is a great opportunity to experience the world around us, to have that cross-cultural experience that we all will need for our personal, academic, and professional goals. At the end of the day, we're all going to be working with people from different cultural backgrounds, and study abroad is a great way to get an immersion experience where you can learn about different cultures and learn about different ways of approaching different problems, different ways to problem solve, different aspects of how to approach different situations. All of those are skills that we need every single day of our lives. At Study Abroad with San Jose State, first of all of our study abroad programs will assist you in earning credit that will help you towards your degree requirement. Even if you do a short-term, a long-term, a year-round program, it doesn't matter. We try to make sure that it keeps you on track for graduation. You can take classes in another country, which is just kind of awesome, right? It's one thing to read about different museums in Paris. It's a different thing to go as a group and actually have classes in those museums, to see the things for yourself, to experience that firsthand. We currently have programs in 66 different countries, and we are always growing our portfolio, adding in new partnerships, new programming opportunities, expanding to new parts of the world. Primarily, we want you to have an immersive experience. We want you to really engage with the location that you're studying in, because we learn so much about ourselves and from other people about their cultural background, their heritage, their history, and how we fit into that big scheme as a globalized world. We also offer programs which we call Study Away, which those are domestic leaning programs, because we recognize that not every student is going to have the opportunity to travel across borders or to go abroad. We try to make sure that we have programs that meet the needs of every single student and to meet you where you are. So you can learn about different cultures within the US as well, which is really, really important because we are such a multicultural country. We are always going to be living next to people with different backgrounds, different cultures, different identities, and it's really, really critical to learn how to be effective in how we negotiate relationships and connections with people to help us grow as individuals. We are going to keep talking about those cross-cultural skills and how to develop it. So if there's parents on the line or if it's just students, one thing is that you're going to definitely develop the ability to be more independent, more confident, to take more calculated risks. That sounds kind of scary, taking risks, but a lot of things that we do, sometimes we feel like there's an obstacle in front of us and we can't overcome it. And in Study Abroad, you get these opportunities to kind of test that and to really push yourself to engage with different experiences that you may not have had here. And that really helps you grow as an individual, makes you stronger, more confident, more flexible. Also, making friends and connections all over the world. In all sincerity, I practice what I preach. I studied abroad multiple times. I lived abroad. I worked abroad. And I can tell you, I'm the envy of most people I know, because I can pretty much go any country in the world, any city, and I probably know somebody who lives there. So I have a great place to stay. I get to see old friends, and it's kind of a great situation. And then, of course, improving your potential to get employed. So one of the biggest skills that employers are looking for are people who have cross-cultural abilities, people who've had immersion experiences someplace else, and really people who've pushed themselves outside of their comfort zones. there's all types of things that can happen in your job every single day that kind of push the limits of what you think you're capable of doing. And studying abroad has the same potential to do that. And so students who study abroad typically come back with a little bit more kind of chutzpah about taking on challenges. They're less risk averse. They're more willing to take on things that are unknown and really tackle it. And we often talk about in our office about how it helps us become comfortable with ambiguity. So we talk about how being okay with things that are unknown to us, being able to manage and negotiate those things.
Now I'm going to talk a little bit about some myths that you may have heard about studying abroad, demystify them. So one thing that you may have heard is that you need to speak another language to go abroad. So this is actually not true at all. So for our faculty-led programs and our alternative break programs during summer and spring, you do not need to know another language. It is not a requirement. And for our summer school abroad and for the semester and year-long programs, there are only a few programs where you actually do need to know another language outside of English. For a lot of the universities where you'd be taking classes, even if English is not the official language of the country, you're able to take almost all or the majority or even all of them in some cases of your classes in English. And then of course we have a lot of programs where they are actually in a country where English is the official language, so it's not a problem there either. Another thing that you also may have heard is that studying abroad is expensive. A lot of people say that. That's actually not true in many cases. We've actually had a lot of students who have saved money on study abroad programs. And this is especially true with some of the longer term semester and year-long programs. You're paying SJSU tuition and you're paying room and board wherever you're living. So we live in San Jose, which is a very expensive place to live. So pretty much anywhere you live outside of San Jose, you will be saving money on housing. So that works in our favor in that matter. Another myth that you may have heard is that studying abroad will delay your graduation. So this is only true in the case that, for example, let's say you are a chemistry major and you decide to go abroad for a semester and you do not take a single course in your major, not a single chemistry class, only electives. That would delay your graduation. But it would delay your graduation if you decided to stay at San Jose State and not take a single chemistry class as well. So that's really the only case. We also don't recommend you study abroad your very, very last semester at SJSU, just because sometimes it takes us a few months to receive the transcripts from the host universities. But of course, all of you are here for Admit Spartan Day, which means you're thinking ahead and planning ahead, which we love.
I'll jump in here as well when it comes to delaying graduation. If you want to do something later on, even in your final semester or right after your final semester at San Jose State, you can still participate in a short-term program and stay on track to graduate, same graduation date, everything. So if you're looking for a semester, that's definitely the case. If you're looking for something shorter term, you can study abroad up until really the very end. And oftentimes, if you do a short-term program, it can actually expedite your graduation because you can knock out classes that you need to take that are requirements and get those done during the summer or the winter breaks so that you can really kind of push forward during the semesters on the other classes you need to take. All right, so I'm going to talk a bit more about the short-term programs that we offer. Currently, we're offering alternative break programs, summer school abroad programs, and faculty-led programs. These are all programs that occur during the school breaks. So these are spring, summer, and winter break. So oftentimes we talk about how if you're really concerned about finances, doing an exchange program for a semester or a whole year can be really, really affordable because that's a whole semester or a year where you don't have to pay for rent. It's oftentimes, in most cases, actually cheaper to live pretty much anywhere else than Silicon Valley. So that can be a cost saver. For students who are really, really geared towards graduating in a 4-year period of time and want to stay on track and know that you have courses that you need to take to manage graduation requirements like your general education courses, a global requirement, courses towards your major or your minor, the short-term programs are great options for you because they are short usually. They typically last between 1 week to 6 weeks depending on the program you go on. And all of the courses are going to be San Jose State courses or pre-approved prior to you going. So for example, if you do a summer school abroad, which is kind of like doing a semester abroad, but you do it in the summer. So just like we have summer school here, we have international partner universities that have summer school programs there. we already make sure that all of the courses that you take at our partner institutions have come back to San Jose State for San Jose State courses. So you know exactly what you're getting before you even go. Faculty-led programs, the title gives it away. So these are group programs where you're with a faculty member teaching an SJSU course, traveling around a different location, working on a specific San Jose State course. So this could be, I saw there was somebody asking about what our business options do we have. We have a program that's actually the capstone, or excuse me, we have a business course that's a required business course in marketing that goes to Brazil every winter. And so it's a great option for our students. They can knock out a course that they need to take. They can stay on track. They can actually reduce their load during the spring semester if they take it in the winter. We also have another program called Alternative Break, and these can happen during spring or summer, and we may eventually roll this out into winter as well. Generally speaking, the spring alternative break programs are domestic in nature. So we go to Puerto Rico, we go to Hawaii. We even have a partner 30 minutes from campus in Big Basin National Park. It's with the YMCA camp where you can work with kids and go to camp for a week, which is pretty awesome. For alternative summer breaks, we'll be offering some domestic options, but we're really going to focus on international options for the summer. And what's the difference between an alternative break program and a summer school or faculty-led program? An alternative break program isn't necessarily linked to a course. So this is mostly an experiential program. We want you to go, we want you to experience another culture, we want you to focus on learning about another culture. We likely will be doing some service learning within the community, but it's really just for having that experience and really having that deep cross-cultural interaction in different places.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our long-term programs. So these are semester and year-long options for study abroad. So for all three of these different exchanges, you will actually be taking courses at a host university abroad. All of your courses there with local students, with other international students. So the first type of program we have are SJSU exchanges. So these are just open to SJSU students. These partners we developed specifically out of our study abroad office. So usually these are where we see the majority of our semester and year-long students go because we choose universities that have really similar course catalogs to SJSU. So we find that those courses match up really well. And of course, universities that have really strong student support services so that you are connecting with locals, connecting with other international students while you're there. For all three of these programs, you're also receiving SJSU credits. So it's as if you're taking classes at SJSU, but you get to go to another university for a semester or two and take those classes. So we also have CSU international programs. So these are all based out of the Chancellor's office in Long Beach. So actually these programs are open to any student who's in the CSU system. So you could be with other SJSU students, a student from CSU Fullerton, San Francisco State. One big difference here is they're all year-long programs. So there isn't a semester option. So if you're really wanting to go for a full year, then you can look at some of our CSUIP programs. And then lastly, we have International Student Exchange Program, our ISEP programs. These are also semester and year-long programs. So ISEP is a nonprofit that we partner with. It's an exchange program around the world. They have a lot of different universities in the US and throughout the world. And through partnering with them, there are about 250 different programs that you're able to go on. So if you're not able to find something in the SJSU Exchange or through CSUIP, ISEP is where we look. They have a lot more programs that are kind of more off the beaten path. If you want to go somewhere like Malaysia or Senegal or Malta, we might not have an SJSU exchange, but we'll definitely have something with ISEP. So we're able to accommodate all of your needs as far as academics and location. So there are really a lot of different options for you, and all of them we make sure to be the best fit for you.
So who can do this, right? Essentially, all students can study abroad, and you have to look at the programs and what specifically you're looking for. So sometimes our short-term programs, oftentimes they're upper division courses, but we do offer programs that offer lower division courses, which would be applicable to freshmen and sophomores. So there was a question again, are there any programs for engineers? I can tell you that we were launching a 100W, which is a required writing course for engineers specifically in Armenia, that was going to be going this summer. So we do always try to meet the needs of students, and we always try to link those courses to things that you'll need to take so that you can stay on track. Generally speaking, sophomore, junior, seniors, and grad students, those are the students who are typically studying abroad. The rationale behind that is in your freshman year, we want you to actually get used to being at San Jose State. We want you to get to know the San Jose State culture, make all of your friends. If you have, some specific reason why you would want to entertain going abroad in your freshman year, maybe your second semester, we've had some students who have done that. We just need to work with you and make sure that that will work for what you're trying to accomplish. For the short-term programs, the required GPA is a 2.0. And for our semester and year-long programs, it would be a 2.75. So that's something really critical to keep in mind as you start on your journey at San Jose State. Of course, everybody can study abroad. We try to make sure that that's possible. So if you're under a 2.75 and you want to go on to a program, you can definitely look into a short-term program. But if you are really, really determined to do a semester, year-long, you have to stay on top of your academics. Many of the courses, if you're doing a general education course, it's going to require that you have upper division status, which means that you've taken enough courses to be considered a junior or senior. Additionally to that, you'll need to have taken your WST or your writing placement test. And then that's going to be the benchmark. Now, that doesn't mean that that's applicable for all of the programs in the short-term session or the long-term session. It just depends on what classes you're trying to take. Every class has their own set of rules. Students who are on academic probation are not allowed to participate, and same with people who are on disciplinary probation. So if you ever had a good reason to not join the Bad Girls Club and just straighten up and fly right, not get in trouble, this would be a good excuse. We don't want to send students who have are on disciplinary probation for obvious reasons. It means that you've done something that is not okay with the university. That's a problem unto itself. If you're on academic probation, again, we want to make sure that you're going to be able to be successful at San Jose State University. So if you're struggling with your academics, we want to make sure that you're getting the right assistance on campus to bring your grades up, to get back into better standing, and then absolutely let's talk about getting you abroad.
So now what's next? So let's say you want to study abroad. What do you do after this meeting, which was your first step? So congrats. Thanks for being here. Next, you'll start looking into the program. So if you check out our website, you'll see we've got all of our short-term programs, our long-term programs. Just kind of look around, see what interests you, look at the different universities, and then meet with us. If you go to our study abroad website, we have all the advisors listed, and you're able to book an appointment with us directly. And we're happy to meet with you on the phone, via Zoom, chat with you about your different options, about what's going to be a good fit for you. And then after meeting with us, we recommend getting in contact with your academic advisor. It's a good idea just to keep them in the loop, make sure they're on board with your study abroad program, and just making sure that you're staying on track to graduate and taking all the classes that you need while you're abroad. Also, if you don't have a passport, it's good to have one of those if we're going abroad. And then as far as just things to look forward to, we're putting together a study abroad week for the fall. We'll have a lot of different fun global activities, connecting with international student and scholar services, more info sessions, but kind of more specific to your college and your major. You'll get a chance to talk with other study abroad alumni and returnees, so it'll be a lot of fun, so get ready for that. And then, of course, follow us on social media. We're posting lots of our alumni's photos and letting you know about different info sessions and things like that and different events that we're hosting. So we're happy to have you connect with us there as well.
Okay, so now we're into the question and answer. And Julie, get ready. We have 27 questions to answer in 8 minutes. So the first question we actually already answered one is, can I study abroad if I'm an international student? And yes, you can. Mm-hmm. It happens all the time, and it's really, really cool. Next question is the study abroad program based on your major? Well, it depends what program you go on. If you're going on a faculty-led program, there are some programs that are really specific to major. So I'll pick on nursing. We have a nursing program. You really need to be a nursing student to do that. That being said, we get lots and lots of students who signed up for our nutrition program. So we send groups to Spain for 2 weeks and you eat for 2 weeks and you get to knock out 2 general education courses at the same time. So we get students from all the different majors who participate in those. And then for semester-long programs, go on.
Yeah, so for semester-long programs, for the most part, our students who go on the programs, the whole course catalog, the whole university course catalog is available. So actually there are a lot of universities that are a really great fit for many different majors. But there are some universities, you know, like we have one, RMIT in Australia. This is a really good fit for our engineering students. We see a lot of them come back with SJSU courses. And so there are some universities that are really a good fit for specific majors.
The next question, oh my gosh, 32, less time. What are the study abroad opportunities for business majors? Oh my gosh, there are so many study abroad opportunities for business majors. My suggestion would be to reach out to one of our great study abroad advisors or somebody from our team. You can, at any point, if you want to learn more, you can reach out to us at spartansabroad@sjsu.edu and set up a time to talk about it. I think the first step is you want to determine, are you thinking about doing something kind of on a short-term basis? Are you looking at a whole semester? And then that will help us narrow down all of the amazing opportunities for business. How much does it cost to study abroad? Again, it varies, right? It depends on where you go. It depends on how long you go, how short you go. It just depends on a series of things. Generally speaking, there are countries in the world that have similar economies to ours that can be quite a bit more expensive or equal to what we're used to paying around here. So think about Scandinavia, parts of Europe, Australia. They tend to be a little bit on the higher end because they're very similar economies. Whereas you can find a very affordable program if you go to Southeast Asia, where it's just much cheaper to be there on site. If you're going for a semester abroad, again, housing costs virtually anywhere outside of San Jose can be quite a bit cheaper. So you can save a lot of money on rent that you would normally be spending here. Are scholarships available to cover study abroad costs? Well, there sure are. There's all kinds of scholarships. If you visit our website, which is www.sjsu.edu/study abroad, there's a whole tab at the top that says scholarships. And you can read through all of the different scholarships. There are scholarships at San Jose State for San Jose State students. There are also national level scholarships that actually give tons of money, like the Boren, the Gilman. So there's lots of opportunities for this. Again, it also comes down to your program, what you're doing, things like that, your backgrounds. If I wish to go to Italy, how will that work? I mean, the language and the classes. Great question. So as Julie mentioned in the myths, you don't always need to have full command of the language to be able to go to different countries, right? We have, for example, our CSUIP program through the Chancellor's Office, which is a full year in Italy. And all the courses are taught in English, but you can take Italian language. If you want to do a short-term program to Italy, we have a summer school abroad program in Italy. We also have a faculty-led program in Italy, actually a couple, and all of them are taught in English. As a linguist myself, and Julie is as well, we always encourage people to study languages when you can, but there's no requirement for that. In terms of the classes, well, there's a whole process. So it depends. If you're going for a semester, you need to look through the different courses they offer, figure out what you need, work with your advisor, work with Julie, and we'll get you sorted. When would you recommend doing study abroad? For example, what year, winter, summer? It really depends. It depends on you. It depends on your degree, your major, what you're able to do or not do. There are some majors that are really, really concentrated and a little bit more challenging to work with and study abroad. So it may be better to go on a semester, or maybe better to go on a short-term program. So I'll pick on nursing again, right? It's probably better to do a short-term program for nursing because there's lots of regulations in the state of California to become a nurse. So you really need to meet with one of our advisors and kind of talk about your situation, and we're going to find the program that meets your specific needs. I would argue that you can do a semester, a summer, and a winter, so you can think about that. In which semester can I apply for study abroad? Julie, if you can pull that slide back up.
Deadlines.
Yeah, so it depends if you're looking at a short-term program or a long-term program. If you're looking at a short-term program, you can see the deadlines when that stuff kind of goes down. Again, all of this is on our website. We try to have as much information out there as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and for the long-term programs for the SJSU exchanges, we always have the fall program deadline. That is always going to be in March, and the spring deadline, that will always be in October.
So the next question is, how do people typically pay for study abroad? And that's kind of a tough question. If you're doing a semester or a year long, a lot of our students will use their normal financial aid packages to cover their study abroad experience, and it does. If you're doing something in the summer, you can potentially have financial aid applied to your study abroad. It just depends if you're taking up to you have to take 6 units or 6 credits in the summer to get to full-time status. But a lot of students, you have part-time jobs, you save money, you maybe don't buy pizza or that hot pair of shoes that you're looking at, and you just stockpile the money up. A lot of things in life, you just have to look at it, decide what you want from it, and then, save up and prioritize. There are scholarships. We have students who get scholarships, but it comes in lots of different ways. I don't know if that's a great answer, but it's an answer. If you study abroad, is there an opportunity to take a class that teaches language? Yes. You can always take a second language when you're abroad. And we even have programs that are specifically focusing on studying a second language.
Mm-hmm.
Are we limited to certain locations due to our programs, or will all locations give us credits for our program? So the programs that you would take through our office, they're all coordinated through us. Everything's arranged and packaged, and we know it's going to work. So as long as you go on one of our programs, we can make it work, and you will get credit at San Jose State. We'll figure out a way to post the link to this presentation. I think there's a website, and we'll get that information to you. Are there any scholarships for study abroad? We answered that question. Yes, there are. Again, you'll have to do your due diligence, kind of like finding scholarships for school. What are the options for sociology that you offer? So many. We have short-term and long-term programs for sociology. So again, if you want to just hone in on a specific program, I would highly suggest reaching out to us and asking to speak with one of our advisors. Any study abroad programs for engineers? Absolutely. Yep. We do a lot on the semester side, depending on your major, but we have lots of partners for engineers, and we even have some short-term programs available as well. Does the short-term alternative break count for credit, or is it just for the experience? The short-term alternative breaks, they don't have a class link to it. We do have some short-term, domestic programs that are faculty-led programs that are linked to a course. So for example, we offered a program to New Orleans this last summer that actually got course credit. But the alternative break programs, if you're in the College of Health and Human Sciences and you are unable to participate in an international program, you want to do a domestic program or a shorter program, that can qualify as your global experience requirement. There's a few things about that, but I just want to mention that. So how would we learn abroad? Are there schools abroad where we have a classroom setting? Yes. The faculty-led programs, the classroom is really moving. We've had faculty teach classes along the banks of the Seine. We've had faculty teach classes or parts of the class in different corporate partners. So they'll go to a business and do a site visit, and they'll learn on site. For our semester and year-long programs, it's just like going to school here. So you're in a classroom. Summer school abroad, also you're in a classroom. What would be a typical day studying abroad? Around how many people are there in a group? It depends on the program that you're going on. It sounds to me like you're talking about one of our faculty-led programs, which are really a group. And it really ranges. It can be anywhere from 8 students to 20 students. And a typical day is action-packed. You do a lot because you're doing a whole semester's worth of class in basically a 2-week period of time. You may have some on-campus meetings or virtual meetings before you go to do some research and things, all the reading and stuff, because we don't want you to be spending the whole time in a hotel room looking out the room going, oh, look, it's Rome. We want you to be in Rome. So the days really, really vary. What type of classes are provided for study abroad? I'm studying civil engineering. Julie, you want to take that one?
What type of classes? So if you plan on going on a semester or year-long program, you'd work with me or one of the other advisors to find a program that has a lot of civil engineering classes that you can take abroad. So basically you'd work with me, and then you'd work with your academic advisor to make sure that they have the courses that you need in order to stay on track to graduate. But there are a lot of programs for civil engineering. Actually, one of the universities I mentioned earlier, RMIT in Australia, that's actually one of our programs where we do see a lot of civil engineering students go.
Some of these are really specific to specific majors. And we're losing students by the bucketful. So I'm going to try to do my best. We have, can I study abroad if I'm a dance major, aviation, animation, illustration? Yes, yes, and yes. Can you study abroad if you are an EOP? Yes. Let's see here. Does Chapter 33 VOC Rehab pay for tuition and BAH while studying abroad? I would need to investigate that further. I don't want to say specifically because I don't know much about it, but we could definitely look into it. Probably. During study abroad, will I be able to take a course to learn the country's language? Yes. In which semester can I apply for study abroad? Julie, I'll have you answer that.
So as Susie was saying earlier, usually we have freshmen stay on campus for the first year. If you really want to, then let us know so that you can go your second semester of freshman year. So if you want to go your spring semester, then you would apply by October. And if you want to go the fall semester, you would apply by March.
Oh, my favorite question's next. How does coronavirus affect all of this in terms of traveling? Well, it's not great. I'll level with you. Well, we're watching the situation and we're just making decisions as we need to ensure everybody's safe. So I'm really hopeful. So again, you're starting with San Jose State, either a transfer student as a freshman, which means that we have time to get you abroad. If this doesn't pass by the fall, if it doesn't pass by the spring, we always have next summer and the following fall. So we just keep looking forward. We're going to keep building out programs. And we're also looking into options where you can have an international experience even if we're online. So we're going to keep coming up with new ideas to have those cross-cultural experiences for you. Do we have engineering related programs? Yes. Does it matter which university abroad we get credit from? Yes, it does. It needs to be one that we're partnered with. To make it as smooth as possible for you, we would like you to go through one of our programs, just simply because everything's already in place. Makes it a lot easier, and we have loads and loads of options. Who pays for the study abroad programs? Well, you do. Yeah, just like if you do a semester abroad, you pay your regular tuition at San Jose State, so it's no different than that. And then you pay for your housing just like you would if you were living on campus. Is study abroad friendly for transfers? Well, I like to think so. We have loads of transfer students who do, especially our short-term programs, if you're in really kind of lockstep majors. But that doesn't mean anything. If you're coming in as a junior, we can always look at options for semester abroad, be it in your first, second, or third semester of your program to get you there. Can freshmen go on the week study abroad programs, the week-long ones? Sometimes, yeah. If you want to do like the alternative breaks, absolutely. Freshmen can go. We would love to have you. And every year we try to build out programs for freshmen to do really like for the summer programs at the end of your freshman year, right? So as you're rising sophomores, we love to have freshmen participate. What are the study abroad opportunities for journalism majors? Oh my gosh, so many. So many options. We actually have a short-term program where we send students to Greece and Italy and you interview refugees in refugee camps. It's unbelievable. We've been running it for years. And then of course we have loads of semester-long options. The journalism math comm department is very engaged in study abroad. Do you provide study abroad opportunities with scholarships to fund them? There's loads of scholarships. You have to take the initiative to apply to them. You have to make sure that you meet the qualifications and the requirements of them, but absolutely. And you can always come talk to us about where to find information. If you need assistance writing essays, somebody to review it, we can look at those as well. Forensic scientist biology major, what country should I go to advance my classes? Julie, do you have a semester option that you can throw out quickly?
Yes, Edinburgh, Napier, and Scotland. It's actually great for forensic science. We've had a lot of students.
And we were offering a short-term program, which of course got canceled from coronavirus for this year, but we'll be running again next year. That's going to Scotland as well, but to Strathclyde, another one of our partners, which is a forensic science lab. So you can do short or long-term. Does SJSU have study abroad programs in South Korea? Better believe it. You can get all of your K-drama and K-pop on all day long. What study abroad would you recommend for an Annie major, for animation? Again, lots of options. Email us and we can give you more of an idea on that. Study abroad opportunities for art majors, absolutely. Tons of short-term programs, tons of long-term programs. And again, I mentioned that CSUIP year-long in Italy that has a good art focus, also good for animation and design. Does kinesiology have a requirement for a study abroad? It does. So for kinesiology students, you can do all sorts of stuff. So for example, you can go to Costa Rica and take a fitness walking class. You can go to South Korea and do a Taekwondo class. You can go to Northern Ireland and do a really, really cool program with North Irish kids. You can do lots of semester abroad programs, but yes, it does have a requirement, and aren't you lucky? Does financial aid pay for abroad? For the most part, it does. It depends on your circumstances and what you're trying to do. So again, for semester and year long, yes, it will go over to that. If you're doing something short term in the summer, it depends. You have to take 6 credits during the summer to be considered full time. And then how much money you get from financial aid to fund it, it really varies based on your package. We are zipping through these. Can I go outside of the continent? You mean the United States? Yes. You might have already answered this, but what are studying abroad are opportunities for nursing like? A little bit more limited because, again, to make sure that you're meeting all of the qualifications to become a certified nurse and to do all of the kind of state regulations, really nursing, the best option is going to be in a short-term program. And we offer one to Granada every single year. Occasionally, we bring in other nursing short-term programs as well. So you just have to keep your eyes out. We've run them to Ireland in the past, India, so we have nursing options. What are study abroad opportunities for graphic design? Again, loads. Here's another one similarly to social sciences. We just have so many. Again, we go to 66 different countries. That's multiple programs in every country. I can guarantee you we can find something that will work and be of interest to you. How is the program to Armenia? Is it relatively new? It sure is. And it's really, really exciting. Our faculty member who was going to be leading that program, she teaches the required writing course for engineering students, 100W ENG. She is Armenian. I spent a lot of time in Eastern and Central Europe. I have a degree in Russian, so this is a program I'm really passionate about. Again, coronavirus hit, so we had to make some decisions there, but we will be offering it again next year. Would love for you to sign up. As a transfer student, is it recommended or possible to study abroad? Absolutely. We recommend it, and it is possible. Can you go outside of the continent? Again, I'm not quite clear what that means. Outside of North America, yes. We have programming on 6 continents, save Antarctica currently. Can you do a part-time job while you study abroad? Julie, I'll let you field this.
Yes, there are some countries where you're able to work up to 20 hours, so part-time, but it depends on the country, so we can talk about that in one-on-one advising. There are also some countries where you're able to do that, but you would need a special type of visa outside of the student visa.
Perfect. Another question about COVID-19 and how it's impacting study abroad. It's not going well. We're not going to send you someplace if there's a global threat level going on, which is currently the case. It's not forever. It's just for right now. So we're going to be operating, doing all sorts of things in the background to ensure that you have the best study abroad opportunities in your future. The good news is if you're in this session, you're either a freshman or a transfer student, which means that we have at least 2, if not 4 years to get you abroad, and hopefully we will get through this before then. What if you're a transfer student? Would there be any restrictions once we've transferred to SJSU? I can't think of any restrictions. Julie can't either, so
None.
Please come see us. If I do study abroad and it isn't for me, am I able to back out, or am I required to finish it? Also, if I do bail out, will there be a refund? Not going to be a refund. You kind of have to, but what my advice is this. If you're on the fence, look at a short-term program. Look at an alternative break program that's 1 or 2 weeks. Look at a faculty-led program where you're going to have a whole group of friends that are traveling with you and a faculty member you'll get to know really, really well. That's a great way to test the water. You have a full set of security blanket with you because you've got somebody from San Jose State that's traveling with you that's going to help you manage different issues that arise. And then that's going to kind of give you that confidence to feel like, okay, I did this once, I can totally take this to a semester. And we have lots of students who do that. So that's a great opportunity. But if you back out midway or kind of after the fact, the money's already been paid, generally speaking. Usually for to the hotel that's putting you up, or to the bus company that's driving you around. Does San Jose State have on-campus courses for learning a language that I can take prior to studying abroad? Absolutely. We have a world languages department that offers loads of different languages. Additionally, there's a department called International Gateways that has the language and cultural exchange program, which is called LACE. In LACE, you can meet with an international student and you can actually practice foreign language with somebody where it's their native language, and then you can help them with their English. Will I have free time to explore the area while studying abroad? Yes, in most circumstances you do, especially if you go again on a semester. You have a whole semester just like you are here. So you'll have breaks and you'll be able to travel and you'll have friends to go travel with. On short-term programs, you might have your evenings free where you can go get dinner with other people who are on the program. But yeah, absolutely. Which countries can I study abroad in? 66 different ones. Can you study abroad your first year if you're a transfer? Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Here. The presentation is linked for students, here we go, at sjsu.edu/CIES/virtual/SAA. Civil engineering, graphic design. Again, there's so many options for civil engineering and graphic design. So I won't get too deep into the direct majors. Biochemistry, we have options for that as well. Oftentimes for like engineering, if you want to do it early on, you can do short-term programs. That's when that really works out for you, is if you're freshman and sophomore year. And then for, if you're doing something that it's not quite working out with your major, you can always stockpile those general education courses that you're going to need to take or other elective courses and do that during your study abroad and do your major requirements on campus. So starting to think about that now and planning now is really, really a good idea. Are there extracurricular and cultural courses I can take while studying abroad? Julie, I'm going to have you take that one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, at most of the universities where you'd study abroad, there are language courses, there are culture courses, and we recommend that you take them in addition to your major courses.
Also, we're working on developing programming for everybody who's studying abroad. So this will be in place by the end of the year. As basically, we want to be working with you before you go, while you're over there, and when you get back, so we can really develop those cross-cultural skills that you're going to need for your future jobs, for academics, for all of these things, for personal growth. So we're going to be doing more of that kind of stuff, which is going to be really, really interesting. Are these study abroad connected to specific foreign university? Yeah. Specifically on the semester and year long, these are all partnerships that we have with universities that we've been working with for years and years and years. We have new partnerships every year. We just established, I think, 11 new programs in this last spring to a variety of different countries. So we're always building and developing and expanding. Summer school abroad, more often than not, we're partnering with a partner university. Faculty-led programs, sometimes we work with universities to a degree, and sometimes we work with more community organizations and businesses and things like that. It depends on the program and the timing of it. Do we offer internships in study abroad? We're actually developing this right now. So we're partnering with different organizations that develop customized internships in the summer. And we're going to have that hopefully launched by next summer. So this is really, really good timing. But we have identified 9 different partner organizations that will have programming in multiple countries. So you really could pretty much pick and choose where you want to go and what you want to do, but it's customized to what you want to be doing on an internship. So that's super cool. Yes. Does SJSU offer language courses I can take in addition to my major, which is biochemistry? Sure does. Can you bring a service dog to study abroad? You can. You have to negotiate the transportation of the service animal in terms of the airline policies when you're buying your plane ticket, and you'll have to coordinate closely with us. We do make accommodations for students. There's a lot of responsibility and a lot of extra steps that go into that. It is possible, but you have to be willing to do some work with us to make that work. Where in Italy can I study abroad? We have programs that are in the north, in the south, on the coast. So lots of options. Will there be options for political science or econ? Yes, 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 and yes. Are there domestic study abroad opportunities? There absolutely are. And right now we're doing mostly short-term domestic programs, but we're looking into partnering with an organization called NSE, which is the National Student Exchange, which would allow for semester-long domestic programs. So you could go be an exchange student in my home state of Iowa. Can I get your contact info? Well, you sure can. You can reach us at spartansabroad@sjsu.edu. Julie's going to put up a slide with our contact information. What is the earliest year when we can study abroad? Generally speaking, sophomore year. But it depends. If you find a program or if you have some really specific circumstances. So if you were like a high school exchange student when you were, and you want to pursue doing something as a freshman, we'll talk to you about it. We've had some freshmen do exchange in their second semester of their freshman year. But again, we really want you to get to know San Jose State first. Are there options for history majors? Absolutely. Some really, really cool ones, actually, both short and long term. Thank you for the presentation. Well, thank you for joining us. I am rapid fire. We've done 76 questions. We have 6 more and we're way over time. I'm going to try to finish this out. Let me get to the one I was on. You may have answered this, but is it possible to fly abroad for travel, winter break, and then begin my spring study abroad semester later? Would I be able to use the scholarships or just other money for the plane ticket? Depends on the scholarship and what they say it will cover. Generally speaking, you pay for your own plane ticket. You can travel before or after your program starts and ends. So if you want to do some personal travel, totally doable. We did not answer that question, so that's a good one. Is studying abroad selective about the students? Here's the thing. We're not going to put you through the ringer so that you can't participate in a program. We want to get you to get there. And so if you have any concerns or questions or, you need strategies to get into the program of your dreams, that's what we're here for. We really want to make it as accessible as humanly possible. On the short-term side of programs, it's San Jose State faculty who are reviewing your applications. And for the most part, they're really, really lovely people. Actually, for all the part, they're all very lovely people. That being said, if you write a single word answer like, why do you want to study abroad? And you say, well, it's not gonna help you. So the best advice I give students when it comes to applying for a program is to be thoughtful about what you want to say and make sure that you're actually responding to the question in front of you, that you answer the question in a thoughtful and considerate way. This isn't impulse shopping a pack of gum on, at Safeway checking out. This is going abroad for a period of time. And so we want to make sure that you've really thought this through and that you're really committed to doing this. Those are really the two things, because especially on the short-term side of things, it's not helpful when a lot of students say, I want to do it, and then they drop out at the very end, because we need a certain number of students to be able to run the program. So we want you to be the adults that you are, and we want you to think about this. We want you to be considerate of this. We want you to think this through, talk to the people in your life, and make a decision and then follow through. That's really the most mission critical thing for us. Is there a limit on the number of students that can study abroad? It depends on if you're doing a short-term program. Some programs, it's limited, because if you're going to Northern Ireland, our bus can sit 15 people plus the driver, which means that we need the faculty member, the driver, and then we can only have 14 students. We can't get a bigger bus. We don't want a smaller bus. So sometimes it's as stupid as how many people can fit on the bus. For exchange programs, no, we can take as many students as we want. So please feel free to go tell all your friends and recruit them for us. Are you allowed to buy locally while studying abroad? Are you allowed to buy locally while studying abroad? I would hope that you would buy locally. You mean visiting like small businesses? Yes, I would say. I think that, I don't know if I'm answering that right. Can I get married while I'm studying abroad? You sure can. It's happened, crazier things. I know lots of people who actually have gotten married. I feel like the Peace Corps is a really good way to get married while abroad. So, I mean, if you find the one, maybe we need to discuss that more. I don't know if you have like specific plans. That's a very specific question. In all programs, are we able to take a full course load, and can we take a class in our major, not just GE courses? Julie, for semester, hit it.
Absolutely, yes. You can take major courses, minors, GEs, electives, and they'll all come back as SJSU credit as long as you chat with me and your academic advisor beforehand. But before you go on your program, there's actually a sheet that you fill out along with me and your advisor, so we know exactly what you'll be getting credit for when you come back to SJSU.
We can take a semester after we finish our degree? Not really. We can definitely give you resources of ways that you can go continue studying abroad, doing a graduate degree abroad. We can talk to you about different countries that allow you to get like a working visa so you can continue to work while you're abroad. But we would want you to do the semester whilst you're in your degree program, because otherwise you're paying to take classes that you won't necessarily need, and we don't want you to just pay extra money. So let's figure out a way to get you there while you're still in your program. Does SJSU do semester at sea? We don't. And I'll share why. You're on a boat with a bunch of Americans, and you occasionally stop in different countries for a very short period of time, and lots of different countries, which is really, really cool, except for you don't actually get to know much about the culture of any of those countries because you're there for a very short period of time. And for the most part, you're on a boat with a bunch of Americans. So we look for programming that's much more culturally immersive, where you're not just in transit for the bulk of the time. Hope that helps. Does the study abroad department help me in getting a visa for study abroad? We can certainly provide you with letters. We can answer some questions for you, but students are responsible for getting their own visas, but we can answer questions for you and help you through that to a degree. Would it be better to study abroad in your sophomore, junior year? I mean, honestly, it just depends on like what your major is and what your goals are and what you want to accomplish. A lot of time people who study abroad want to study abroad longer. So it's not uncommon for someone to go in fall and say, hey, can I stay for spring? So from that perspective, maybe as a sophomore, you might be set up to be able to have more opportunities to do stuff. If you're in really specific majors where the courses get really, really specific at the very end in your junior and senior years, it could be a good idea to study abroad in your sophomore year, because then you can work on your electives and your GEs when you haven't already done those. But again, we can accommodate all sorts of things. Can we take a course not relating to our major, such as culinary class? Yes. Yep, we can get electives out of those. You have to plan that so that you're not going to extend your course towards graduation, right? So we don't want you to take all courses that don't relate, which would keep you there for years and years. Can I study abroad in several different countries? Yes. Yes, you can. And it happens. And are we able to work during our time abroad? Julie answered that question. Is there campus housing for study abroad? It depends on the program that you're going on. Campus housing is really kind of a US cultural type of thing. That being said, there's many countries that have partnered with apartment complexes that do, so like Australia, they didn't have residence halls, dorms for a really long time. But it's become such a thing that students want to be close to campus that they partnered with private companies to build apartments that are basically dorms right on campus. But it depends on the country and where you're going. If you go to Thailand, for example, we have a partner called Chulalongkorn, and they have dorms available. So it just depends on the program and what you're looking for. So we can find the right fit for you. And then the last, not a question, this was so helpful. Thank you so much. My pleasure. I can't believe we answered 90 questions in far more time than we needed to. Does study abroad department help me with housing? Again, depends on the program, but yeah, we can talk to you about strategies to find housing, and we can direct you towards programs that offer housing as part of it as well. Can I rewatch this? I want to rewatch this. I feel like the Tiger King. That's amazing. I think you can. Again, we mentioned earlier that there is a website that is going to have this, and since this is being recorded, I suspect that it's going to be loaded onto that website. I'm trying to pull up that link. It is SJSU, let me see if I can copy this, sjsu.edu/CIES/virtual/SAA. Say it again, sjsu.edu/CIES/virtual/SAA. And then, oh, we have 5 more questions. Can I rewatch this? Yes, you can. Thank you. Superpowers you have. Yeah, I think we have superpowers. All gained from studying abroad, strangely. What's the website? Our website, if you want to come just look at what we have on offer to explore what we're doing, you can go to sjsu.edu/study abroad. I think Julie has the information up on the screen. So you can check out, we try to put everything out there because we want you to be able to find everything that you need. Also through our website, you can look at our About Us, where you can meet all of my staff, and we have links so you can schedule online, you can do an online booking for an advising appointment just to talk it through. And even if you have no idea what you want to do and you just think, okay, I think I want to study abroad, and that's all you got, we want to talk to you. And then what's the website? Yes, they will be posted to the website at the end of the week so you can watch this, we've been told. And what are the popular countries that people go to? I think a lot of our students like to go to Spain. A lot of our students like to go to Italy, Japan, Korea. Julie, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I would say we do have a lot of students go to Europe, but then we also do have a lot of students lately who are interested in Asia. We love when our students go all over the world.
Oh my gosh, yes. And honestly, like, I would argue that if you ever wanted to go someplace that just seems like it might be a little bit further outside of the comfort zone you're willing to explore, look at our short-term programs, because again, you're with a group, you've got a person or people who are there to help you. You've got this whole kind of system. So that's why I think oftentimes for our short-term programs, we go a little bit further off the beaten path. We try to press or push our limits in terms of where we go to. So we run programs in Rwanda, which that might be kind of, too far outside the box for a lot of students for a whole semester, but students go and they go on the short-term program and they come back and they say, hey, I want to go study in Botswana or Uganda or Ghana, in first semester. So that's a really good way to kind of test that boundary. I'll tell you this, in the winter, we have a program going to Borneo where you get to go look at orangutans. I mean, you could do some really cool stuff. That also being said, everybody on our team, we've all had international experiences. I lived in Russia, Thailand, Spain, and Iceland. Of my list of places where I lived, I really appreciated the places that were off the path a bit more. So I love living in Russia. I love living in Thailand. Spain was just okay. Julie will counter that because she lived in Spain. But I like it kind of, I like things to be really, really different than what I'm accustomed to here, because it kind of pushes me to be way outside my comfort zone. Okay, and thank you for your help. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Got it so much. Great. Reach out if you have any other questions. Can't wait to talk to you and send you abroad.
Yes. All right. Thanks everybody for joining. And yeah, please feel free to email us, chat with us, call us. We're happy to talk more about studying abroad, but thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your day.
Can't wait to see you in human form.